Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first day of our pre-AP Chem distance learning version. I hope you are safe and you are comfortable and you are healthy and you are ready to go. Let's get started. So the first thing to kind of like get ready as we kind of get used to what this is going to look like, the first thing I have for you is just our essential questions. So our essential questions are, what are the expectations for distance learning? Any questions that you might have for me? What will your school routine look like? And then also, am I ready for this? And of course, the answer is you will be for sure. Okay, the first thing I want to mention, just kind of like getting into this, the first thing I want to say about distance learning is keep a normal schedule as much as possible and stick to it. I know it's not really the same, but like go to school every day, each class period, set a school routine and stick to it. So even if your routine is like a little bit later in the day, or you have to like help out with like little kids in the morning or whatever, still keep the same schedule every day, because that's going to help you just stay focused and get your work done. It would be so easy to just be like, oh, I'm just going to sleep in, I'm going to watch Netflix all day, and then I don't know, like Saturday, I don't know, in a couple weeks, maybe I'll do some stuff. But this is a bad idea. And if you're like, wait a second, that sounds amazing, why is this a bad idea? Your brain needs time to process this stuff in small parts. So you can't just learn a whole bunch of it all at once. Like think about being like a baby, because you're kind of like a baby chemist, right? Oh. What you need to think about is like you need time to process little pieces. So like when you're a baby and you're learning language, you don't learn a whole bunch of things all at once in like 6 hours and then you're like, I'm good, I'm ready to talk. You learn little tiny chunks. That's how your brain you need to think of your brain like that for processing stuff for chemistry. It's complicated information. You need to process it in little pieces. Also, just it would be harder to get help if you only do it one time every 2 weeks. It's harder to keep up. You won't be prepared to move forward. And then, at some point, you're going to need to get back into a normal routine, and that's just going to make it harder. Some other get ready stuff. You need a notebook for chemistry. Yes, I recommend that you still just kind of take notes like you normally would. Why? Well, because you might want some of this information for future references. If you're taking AP Chem or when you go to college, if you're going to college, you might not know if having these pre-AP notes would be useful. But then also, if we do come back to physical class, you're going to want that notebook. You can use the same notebook that you used in Chem A as long as there's about half of the pages left. If you get a new notebook, you will take it and divide it into 2 sections. The front 2/3 will be your notes and stuff, and the back 2/3 will be unit practice problems. You should set up your notability for all documents that consider it like the things I would have handed out to you, like worksheets or guides or things like that. You should set up notability so that you can have that all organized digitally. And there's a reminder on the next slide of how to do that. You will need a scientific calculator. It doesn't have to be graphing, but graphing is fine. And you'll need computer and internet access. Everything that I am going to be giving you through distance learning is going to come through Schoology. So that's the only site you need to go to. And then if there's links or videos or things to other stuff, I'll have it all in Schoology. All right, so if you need a reminder, go ahead and pause the video setup. This is how you set up notability for like your different dividers for pre-AP Chem B, and then the different subjects are what the folders would be called. Start with unit 7, because that is the first unit of pre-AP Chem B, and then make one for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That way you can put stuff in there. It'll be easy to find later. Just that little level of organization is going to be helpful just to kind of keep track of stuff. I am going to still use Remind, maybe not as much as I did before, because you're going to be used to checking stuff on Schoology. But if you're new to me this trimester, or if you haven't had me since trimester 1, you're going to need to rejoin. So take out your phone, open up a new text. Here's the phone number, 81010. If that doesn't work, here's the long phone number. You can go back and look this up if you need to. You send the text message with the @ symbol, and then all one word, all lowercase, Chem B K, as in like you're in Chem B with Killinan. And then if he doesn't remember you, or if you have a new phone or something, you'll have to respond with your name. And like before, this is private, it's protected. I will use it to send out reminders. Like if I posted something new on Schoology, I might do a remind that's like, hey, go on Schoology to look at this thing I just posted, or don't forget to finish the quiz. That's only open until midnight tonight, or those kinds of things. So I think it'll still be useful. Some expectation stuff that might be helpful just to kind of wrap your head around what this is going to look like. You should be logging into Schoology every school day. Now, even if it's like if you're supposed to be in my first hour, and if you don't do it at 8:10, and you do it at 10:10 or 10:30 or whatever it is, You can set your own routine. However, I do recommend that I am expecting that you log onto Schoology every school day. I will have live seminars some days. Those will be posted on Schoology. You'll be able to figure out them. Most likely I'll be using a program called Zoom. More information will be coming on this. You'll be getting a Zoom account and the school will take care of all that. But for now, just know that there will be times when I have live seminar, not necessarily for lecture, but more for just social a little bit, like how's it going? What do you have questions on? What are you working on? What's not making sense? What could be smoother? You can give me feedback. That'll be helpful. That'll be at least a couple times a week, if not every day. And then do your work. Again, you still need to think of yourself as a student coming to school every day, even though coming to school means being at home in your bedroom or in your basement or at your kitchen table or whatever you're doing. But you need to do your work. So turning things in on due dates, taking quizzes, turning in assessments, watching videos, doing lab activities, those things, you need to do your work. So those are my expectations for distance learning. Pretty similar to what they would be if you were in school every day. I want to give you kind of like a little bit of our like chemistry stuff as we're getting into it. When I think of like chemistry B, here's kind of the idea. You now have a basic understanding of atoms and compounds and reactions, and Pre-AP Chem B is about taking all of those topics that you know to now a deeper level. You'll learn more about electrons, more about bonding, more about structures of the periodic table. These are things you already kind of know about, but we take them to a deeper meaning. And so the cool thing is that you're going to explore lots of things that you kind of know about, but then now it's going to make more sense why we learned them, what we need to know about them, how they apply to our lives. And this will help you, especially if you're going on to take AP chemistry or a college chemistry class. But there's a lot of stuff that even if you're not taking more science or advanced chemistry, this is still going to be really useful, just helping you understand things in your life. Things about like soap and acids and bases and why certain things mix together and other things don't. So lots of just kind of cool ideas about that. So that's kind of our whole picture. Some ideas about like where you've been and where you're going. You maybe remember this graph from Try Chemistry A whenever you had that. I think Try A starts off really like simple and then it gets real hard real fast and then it kind of stays at that level. Well, the cool thing about this, maybe it's cool, the cool thing about this trimester is that it never really gets super harder than it was before. Some things will be harder than others, some will be trickier, some things it'll just kind of go up and down, and it's really more like personal. Because everything we talk about in Chem B, you already have some sort of base in your brain. Like, for example, we already know about atoms. Now we're going to talk about electrons a little bit more deeply and how they affect light. You already know about bonding, but we're going to talk about bonding and structure at a little bit deeper level. So you already have some think of it as like base foundation, and we're just going to build on that. So you don't have to start from scratch, which is really nice. So in terms of like wrapping your head around this graph, like, whew, oh my gosh, we stay up there, like we stay kind of intense. Here's my happy quote for you. Think about it this way. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. So think about this class as like a challenge, something that you can grasp onto, and it's meaningful to get through it and to accomplish it. And we'll do this together, even though we are separate right now. All right, a few words of wisdom. Because you took Pre-AP Chem A, you kind of have an idea of what the class is going to feel like, though of course it's very different now that you're away from me. But in terms of like the pace of the class, the kind of homework you need to do, how much you need to study, review, how much you need to get help, you kind of already know a lot of that. And so that's kind of an advantage at this point. The best words of wisdoms I have for you is that you need to care every day, not just a couple times a week, not just towards the middle, not just towards the end when you're frantically trying to get things in. If you want that high level grade, you have to care every single day. Especially for those of you, if you're like, oh man, I was at an A- or when I took this before and I really want to get it to an A, caring every day is going to help you get there. And the other thing is take care of you, right? You need to take care of what you need. If you know you need routine, set a routine. If you know that you need to take notes and do costa questions, do that. If you know you need to do the unit practice problems, don't do that, right? So you got to take care of you. That's my words of wisdom for you. So if you're like, oh my gosh, Ms. K, I'm ready. Like this is a weird challenge and it's exciting and it's kind of scary, maybe kind of cool. You're like, I'm ready. My thing for you is like, you got to get up every morning and you got to say to yourself, I can do this. This is weird. This is different. It's unprecedented. I've never done anything completely like this, though I've done some online teaching before. This is really new and we're going to figure it out and we're going to do this together and it's going to be kind of an adventure. I miss you and I would rather you were in my classroom. But in general, I'm looking forward to a great experience. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out together. And it's going to be, we're going to make it the best experience that we can. All right, so with all of that information, all of that intro kind of stuff, you might be wondering, okay, so like what now? What am I supposed to do now? What's happening? I'm going to remind you to go back and join Remind. You can look at the video if you need to. Set up your notability. Again, you can look back in the video and pause it if you need to. I would like you to read the syllabus that I have posted on Schoology and then put it in your Unit 7 subject folder in Notability because you're going to do that organization. And again, to clarify, the first unit in Chem B is Unit 7, 1 through 6. We're Chem A. So read the syllabus so you've got that. Read the unit plan. It's not on blue paper, so I can't call it a blue unit plan anymore. But you do have a plan to get you through this first unit. It'll appear on Schoology, the different units, different folders for different units and different days. All of that should be pretty organized, but you can always send me messages if something's not clear. But also put that Unit 7 plan in Schoology, or sorry, in Notability, because that's going to help you keep that, kind of know what's going on. There is also one assignment for you to complete. It's called, Hey, Ms. K, remember me? Because the cool thing is that I've met all of you. And so there's a lot that I remember, but there might be some things that might be helpful to refresh my memory. So there's an assignment in Schoology. You can answer the questions in any format. If you want to do a little video and send it to me or post it on Schoology, if you want to do a pic collage, if you just want to do a notability and just type answers, super simple, that is totally fine. But you just have to address the questions that are written in the assignment. Okay, so that would be something to work on. All right. Thank you for a good first day. We're going to figure this out together. It's going to be a great experience, and I'm excited to continue working with you. The other thing you might want to do is, I forgot there was one more thing, is to set up your school routine and actually write it down. It'll be easier to follow if it's written down. Set up a plan for yourself. That's not a class-related thing, but I think it's a really good idea. So if it helps, like I'm telling you to do it, if you're like, oh, the teacher told me to do it, now I'll do it. But you got to know yourself, take care of yourself. But I think it's a really great idea. Okay. Welcome back, kind of, right? I miss having you in class. I really do. That experience is so much better than being online, but we got to stay safe and we got to support each other this way, and we will do the best that we can. All right, goodbye.